You know me, SDMT. Big news right here, man. What's going on with Antonio Brown, man? AB, one of the best receivers in the league, man. Things have went left in Pittsburgh, man. What's going on, man? Antonio Brown had a big, altercation with one of his teammates in Big Ben, at the end of the season. He ended up leaving practice and ended up not, coming back for practice during the week. The Steelers, Mike Tomlin, sat him out for the game. That was huge right there going to that last game with playoff implications and to sit out your best receiver, Antonio Brown. So that was a huge move on Mike Tomlin, but it also left a sour taste in Antonio Brown's mouth because some reports were that he feels Mike Tomlin isn't too invested into Big Ben, and that's where I think the major issue is between Antonio Brown and Big Ben. Big Ben went on his radio show and said he has no problem and there was no altercation, trying to cover things up. But there were also reports that Big Ben also said that he had been trying to contact AB and AB wasn't returning his messages. And Mike Tomlin also was frustrated with that as well, the communication. So it's a lot going on. The owner of the Steelers, Art Rooney, he's been pretty frustrated with Antonio Brown. He said he doesn't know if it looks like he'll be on their team coming into training camp. And they're not going to release him, but they are open to trading him. So this is huge right here, man. This is crazy, man. The Steelers, man. That organization is just crumbling, losing their best players. Le'Veon's gone. Antonio Brown's on his way out. So they have a lot of young talent. James Conner stepped up. Juju's a star, man. And that can also be one of the reasons Antonio Brown isn't happy. Because when we look at it, Antonio Brown in an off year had 104 catches, 1,297 yards, and 15 touchdowns in 15 games. If you would have played in that last game, he going to get 6,200 yards and probably a touchdown. So 1,300 yards and about 16 touchdowns. But ifs don't count, and it didn't happen. But Juju, we look at him, 111 catches, over 1,400 yards, and 7 touchdowns. That him being a star and breaking through, that could have been also created a little bit of tension with Antonio Brown because Antonio Brown has been the number one receiver on the Steelers for the last several years. He's been that guy. He's the number one go-to. And for him to be behind, Juju in receptions by 7 catches and have less yards, double the touchdowns, but still, when you're a hog, you want that ball. And that's where the problem comes into when you have too many hogs on one team. A lot of people are saying Antonio Brown's a prima donna and a diva receiver, which I said a long time ago. A lot of Steeler fans got mad at me. He's not a diva. Yes, when you're about yourself first and you're promoting yourself and your image, you're coming to practice in helicopters, you're dancing, you're doing a lot of things, so bringing a lot of attention to yourself before your team, and also having breakdowns on the sideline, tantrums and stuff like that. You're a diva receiver. I told you guys about this, a year ago. You didn't want to hear it, but here we go again. I'm a big fan of Antonio Brown, one of the hardest working receivers in the game. Great work ethic, awesome receiver, 5'9", gets it done, runs all the routes, makes plays, awesome talent. But, we're in an age where these star diva receivers, they have a lot going on. They have social media, they have a lot of attention, they have a lot of people in their ear telling them certain things. And they also have, sponsorships and a lot of other factors going into it. And it's not just all the time about winning games, which it should be, but it's a lot going on. Jerry Rice came out and said that Antonio Brown wants to be a 49er really bad. I think he capped it. That's a big cap. Who the hell wants to be a 49er right now? I was just playing. Shout out Jimmy G. That's my guy, man. You never know. Hey, Jarvis Landry went to the Browns. We were all looking puzzled for a moment, but then, they got a lot more talent. They drafted well. Look at the Browns. They turned it around. The 49ers could be a similar situation. But I don't know why, Antonio Brown want to go to the Niners so bad when there's so many other options out there for, a talented veteran receiver that can go to more of a winning team. The Patriots probably would jump on him, but they wouldn't pay him all that money. We know the Patriots don't pay nobody but Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? But, that's how that goes. But when you look at it, the Steelers, man, we're watching this organization. You lose some of your best players, and it really bothers me the way these Steelers fans, you guys be flip-flopping and turning on a player so fast. Man, Le'Veon Bell, man, he's overrated. Man, Antonio Brown, man, he doesn't care. He's all about himself. Hey, man, it's part of the game. You know what I mean? And it's actually been that way, and you didn't care when they were winning, so you should probably shut the hell up now. You know what I mean? But you guys let me know, man. Antonio Brown, man, this is crazy, man. He's in his early 30s, so he still has a lot more time left. He can still make plays and still be a factor. I can still see him hitting 1,000 yards and over 10 touchdowns for the next 3, 4, 5 seasons. So we know he still can ball. But is it over for him in Pittsburgh? It looks like it. The owner also said he doesn't know if the locker room would accept Antonio Brown back after some of his behavior. I think they would accept him back. Most teams and most locker rooms are pretty solid, and if you played with a guy for a amount of years, you have respect for him, you can overcome things of that nature. But it just has a lot to say about it. You know what I mean? When things happen, like the incident with at the practice where Antonio Brown reportedly snapped and threw the ball at a teammate and walked out over a route with him and Big Ben, it seems like that was the bubbling point. Things bubbled over, and it seemed like things have been bubbling. You know, Antonio Brown was not happy with Le'Veon not getting paid. He wasn't one of those guys hating on Le'Veon. He was one of those guys supporting him. And so you can tell that kind of bothered him. Earlier in the season, a fan on Twitter said that, that Antonio Brown owed a lot of his success to Big Ben, and he wouldn't be as good without Big Ben. And Antonio Brown replied, "Let's see. Tell him to trade me then." You know what I mean? Like, let's see, trade me then. So I don't know. That right there kind of tells you. That was like an early hint that he wasn't happy with the way things are going in Pittsburgh. He wasn't happy with, the way things are going. Maybe his touches, maybe his targets, and maybe just overall offense. Maybe him and Big Ben just haven't been on the same page. And I think that's the major thing that's causing a big problem dividing them is Big Ben and Antonio Brown are not on the same page. And looks like Antonio Brown may not want to be on the same page with Big Ben. So when we look at it, if that's the case, then he shouldn't be a Steeler, and it's not going to work out in Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of other teams that would take him with a quickness, you know what I mean? Arguably one of the best receivers in the game. Last year he was the best in the game, but things changed. But he's still at the top of the league, you know what I mean? What he's done these last several years speaks for itself. We know what he can do with the ball in his hands, The Steelers, they draft very well, and it's hard to say a better team at drafting receivers than the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. So they lucked out by getting Juju. I told y'all he was going to ball. Follow me on Instagram at SDMT619. I already told y'all about Juju. Juju's a star. He's a #1 receiver, so he can fill that void when AB leaves. They're going to have to probably draft another rookie receiver or get another receiver through free agency to fill that other spot. Then you have Le'Veon leaving, James Conner, a star, you know what I mean? Awesome, inspiring story, so they can slide him in there. So the Steelers, they can rebound from this. You know what I mean? A lot of teams, you lose this much talent, it may take you a while to get back, but the Steelers have drafted pretty well so they can secure a lot of these spots. It's almost kind of crazy, like they kind of knew, they would need to replace these stars, so they kind of drafted, just in case. And taking a guy like James Conner, I was a big fan of James Conner out of Pitt. I didn't like him going to the Steelers because I thought I wanted to have an opportunity to start. Going with Le'Veon, I felt like he wasn't going to play much, and he really didn't in his early year. But when the whole thing shook up, Le'Veon holding out, then people got to see what James Conner could do. Already knew he can ball. So the Steelers, they have a lot of talent. This may not hurt them as much, but it may. And this may be the downfall and end of Big Ben in Pittsburgh as well. He's going to be restructuring his contract, so we'll see how that goes. But you guys let me know what you think, man. Are you one of those people hating on AB, man? It seems like everybody in the media has turned and hating on AB, man. He's an awesome player, great work ethic. It just isn't working out in Pittsburgh, and it's been that way. You can tell throughout the season, and it's time for, another opportunity for him, and he needs to go his way, and that team needs to go that way. You know what I mean? The Steelers, that locker room and the way things are going, it's really weird, and it's kind of says something about Mike Tomlin that he may be on his way out soon as well if this locker room doesn't get under control. We look at what happened with James Harrison last year. We look at the Le'Veon thing. We look at, the thing with Antonio Brown. We can't blame everything on Mike Tomlin. The owner is the one that didn't pay these guys, didn't pay Le'Veon, so he can't control him about that. But some of the other things, it has to do with more discipline. You know what I mean? So, Antonio Brown feels he has the authority to do some of the things he's done. Even though he's been punished for some of the things, he still, is breaking rules and, testing those boundaries. And Mike Tomlin did suspend him, but at the end of the day, it may be time for a culture change in Pittsburgh. Maybe, maybe not. You guys, let me know what you guys think, man. Is it time for the Steelers to move on without Antonio Brown, or should they try to keep him? What team should pick him up? The Niners, you know what I mean? It's a lot of teams that use the number one receiver, so he'll get some run wherever he chooses to go. The Raiders would love to have him too. Who the hell are their receivers? I don't even know. But you guys let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on my notifications, and follow me on Instagram at SDMT619. SDMT!